kids, have you ever wondered what it's like to live in the middle of a war? Well, your chance has come because there's a war happening right now and you don't even know about it. The Russia and Ukraine war, aka very gruesome. Now, you probably have heard your parents talk about how, Putin is invading Ukraine and all of that stuff is simple, but not simple enough. I will be talking about the war crimes today. Kids, this is gonna be very gruesome, very gory, and if I had to rate this video, it would be rated PG-13. But most likely R. That's what I would rate this video. So be careful. I will be talking about a lot of blood and dead bodies, okay? Now, you might be like, oh, God, it's an invading country. What can Putin possibly do? Simple. War crimes. If you don't know what war crimes are, well, war crimes are basically a type of law, international law, that most countries who have signed into it have to obey. For example, the most famous war law is simply do not kill civilians. Putin signed that. And guess what? He's killing civilians, especially in places like Bucha. Bucha is a place, if you don't know, I have no idea why people name it things like that. Maybe it's because of other languages, but that sounds like a town in India or some place that is not Europe, but still, we're going to call it Bucha because that's what they call it. Bucha, there are dead bodies scattered everywhere, and I know that you are only very young, but this is just the truth of the world. There are dead bodies lying everywhere, all around just one country, because of a war that has killed a lot of people so far. Now, you're probably thinking, it's probably because of a rogue group of soldiers who hate everything. No, it was an order by President Putin himself, not to be confused with President Biden. Now, Putin is claiming that all of this is fake. Even if we have satellite images of people getting killed, we have photos of people getting killed, we have videos of people getting killed, we have videos of people being shot, we have dead bodies that have been buried so that the dogs don't get them. So Putin, what is wrong with you? Everybody already knows that you are committing all of these war crimes and you are ordering all of the war crimes yourselves. But there's also something very important. He is using some type of weapon. Cluster bombs. Now you might be like, what's the difference between bombs and cluster bombs? Like there's no difference, right? That's where you would be wrong, my friends. Cluster bombs are bombs. They look more like missiles, not the cannonballs you see in Pirates of the Caribbean. And there are a bunch of tiny explosive stuff inside. When it's above a target, it explodes, launching all the explode stuff all over the place. Most of them explode, but only 30% of it do not explode. They just land on the ground, and then when people are walking across the street, BAM! It's just everlasting damage. And trust me, you would not want to step on anything explosive, because either your shoe would fall off, or your entire body will turn into a big puff cloud, like in the video game Minecraft. You don't like when that happens, except it's not going to be a puff cloud, it's going to be a blood cloud. And your brain is probably going to go flying in all directions. You know, the things that you really hope will never happen to you. So cluster bombs are not a good thing. Plus, cluster bombs, they are very effective against an army. But this is Ukraine. Ukraine has cities, not much rural land. So basically, using cluster bombs in a field filled with armies is very effective. But using cluster bombs in the middle of a city filled with civilians will create problems that happen immediately, and of course problems that will last for generations to come. America used a few cluster bombs in Vietnam. Some cluster bombs haven't exploded yet, and recently a cluster bomb exploded in Vietnam and killed a Vietnamese man. So after this war ends, there's still going to be a lot of cluster bombs lying around that's just waiting to be stepped on and blown up. We do not want that to happen. Right, guys? You agree with me, right? Now, you're probably thinking, okay, all of this killing stuff, it's probably an accident. Did you forget what I just said? All of the stuff that had just happened were executive orders from President Dictator Vladimir Putin, which means that he did it all on purpose. For example, there are satellite images of satellite videos, actually, of somebody getting out of the car with hands raised, and then he said, in whatever language Ukrainians speak, "I am a civilian, I am innocent, and I am not armed." And the Russian troops heard it, so they shot him. The Ukrainian troops, they found a dead body on a bicycle. Soldiers do not fight Russian troops on bicycles, so that's probably a civilian. They found a dead body holding a grocery bag. Grocery bags are for grocery, not weapons. If you say that all of this is an accident, then you are very weird right now. Because there are literally basements all over the place, with dead bodies inside, and their hands tied behind the backs like that. Bullet holes down there. I am not sure why I'm talking to kids about this. But all of this just comes up and sums up the cause that Putin is doing a bunch of war crimes. Now, I haven't talked about the usual battles and stuff, but here's a little rundown so you can explain what's going on. Putin wants more land. Putin invades Ukraine because Ukraine used to be their land but isn't anymore. They go to Kiev, the country's capital. They fight a bit and then they retreat. Now, all these war crimes may be bad, and you may be depressed. Kids, you're kids. You should be happy. Like Martin Luther King Jr. once said, out of a mountain of despair comes a stone of hope. And even if cancer hospitals are being bombed, and playgrounds are being blown up, and every single place that has kids gets raided, and everybody inside, including the kids, gets killed, that is very sad. But there still is that one thing that you must all understand. We are beating Russia. Well, Ukraine is beating Russia. The president of Ukraine, his name is Zelensky. He is going strong, and so far, he has been able to push the Russians away from Kiev, which is actually pretty easy, mainly because the Russian tank armor is made of cardboard, which usually is very easy to penetrate, even with a scissor or a pencil or any single thing that has a point on it, no matter how strong it is. All of it can penetrate cardboard. So I think that we're already good off. So out of a mountain of despair, a stone of hope. But still, we all need to remember those who died for no exact reason, except that Putin is a psychopath who wants more land and is going to go kill a bunch of people to get it.